If you want to repair bad credit, I want you to really watch this video from A to Z because I'll be sharing with you the top 10 latest hacks to really repair bad credit real fast. I mean, a lot has changed in the credit industry, especially during COVID or after COVID. So these are the top 10, the latest hacks, the most innovative hacks, the most effective hacks that really get you results real fast. Okay. So the first thing you want to do here is that you have to really go back to your credit reports. So if you want to repair bad credit, you need to pull your credit reports. Why? Because you might be thinking, well, my credit is sitting at 300 or 350. But the question is, how sure are you? If you don't pull your credit reports, how can you be sure of the exact numbers? And again, I'm not speaking about you actually having a random number or having a vague number. I'm speaking about you being sure of what your numbers really are. And when I say pull your credit reports, it's not just pulling your credit reports out of one credit bureau. No, you got to do that. You got to repeat the process for all three credit bureaus. In other words, you have to really go and pull your TransUnion credit report, pull your Equifax credit report, and pull your Experian credit report. That way you have a clear idea where you stand. So maybe for instance, at TransUnion, I am at 475. On Equifax, I'm around 505. And for Experian, I am at maybe 525 or 528. That way you have clear numbers. You got to have definite numbers, okay? So that's the first thing you want to do. And by the way, you can actually pull your credit reports for free. Just go to a website called annualcreditreport.com. And the second thing you want to do is you want to find and dispute credit report errors. If for any reason you feel like there are some errors on those credit reports, then you want to really find and you want to fix them, okay? And that means you have to contact actually the credit bureau to say, hey, listen, I think this is a mistake. Or you can contact the original data provider, in other words, the lender who sent the wrong data to the credit bureaus in the first place. But that's important. So number one, you need to pull your credit reports. Number two, you need to find and dispute credit report errors. Now, the thing is that some of this process can be a little, it can be a little demanding. In other words, that means you have to send letters to the credit bureaus. You have to contact those bureaus by phone. But hey, listen, it's definitely worth it. If you want to repair bad credit, you have to take the steps to actually get it done, especially if you want to be sure that the steps you're taking are actually effective, okay? And if you like to do things yourself, because there's another way you can just reach out to a credit repair company. But if you want to go the DIY route, then this is what you have to do, okay? Number one, pull your credit reports. Number two, find and dispute credit report errors. The third thing you have to do here, if you are trying to repair bad credit, you need to really start monitoring your credit scores. I mean, this hack really works really, really well. And especially during COVID, a lot of folks were home and there were no credit activity, but they realized that their credit was going down. Their credit score was still going down. So you gotta really monitor your credit scores actively. It's not just about you actually waiting for every quarter or every month, every year rather, to see your credit score. You want to really have a system in place where you are monitoring your credit score maybe once a month. And there are some people who actually even do it every 2 weeks, okay? So your credit score is a 3-digit number, right? Typically ranging from 300 to 850. That provides a snapshot of your overall credit health. So checking your credit scores regularly can help you track your progress as you work to rebuild your credit. With each step you take, you'll get a good idea of how it really influences your credit scores for better or worse. And what's more, and that's a good thing you have to remember, keeping track of your scores can help you spot and address potential issues before they do significant damage to your credit. That's the whole thing. You want to be proactive, right? You want to really be proactive and get things done. You want to nip things in the bud. Next, you want to enroll in autopay and avoid future late payments. If you're trying to repair bad credit this year, I want you to really use technology. I want you to use technology for you. Okay, I want you to leverage technology. So your payment history is the most influential factor in your credit scores. So it's kind of crucial that you prioritize paying your bills on time. So missing a payment can also result in a late fee from your creditor or lender, and if it remains unpaid for 30 days, it can damage your credit. Okay, so there are a few ways to actually make sure you don't miss the payment. Enroll in autopay, pay early, change your due date, or set up overdraft protection. Okay, that's really important to really set up overdraft protection. And you also want to make sure that you are staying current on your debt payments, especially making sure that you are meeting the minimum payment, at least the minimum payment. If you are trying to repair bad credit this year, I want you to really choose a debt repayment strategy to actually take care of those delinquent account. Okay, you need to bring those delinquent account current, because see, the whole thing is that when your credit score, when your FICO score is low, there are a few things that are really maintaining that score at the bottom. And if you are able to bring those delinquent account current, you will be automatically lifting up your credit score big time. It could be 75 points or 100 points. Okay, so if you are behind on payments with one or more accounts this year, I want you to really understand that the damage has already been done. Okay, you've already seen you've already seen the fact that your FICO score has actually crashed big time. In fact, late payments and collection accounts can stay on your credit reports for up to 7 years from the original delinquency date. Okay, but there is actually there is hope. There are possibilities to actually turn things around, or at least start turning things around. So the longer an account goes unpaid, the more damage it does. So getting caught up on your payment can effectively stop the bleeding, so to speak. Okay, so one way to pay off debt more quickly is by using the debt snowball method. I mean, there are a lot of methods out there, but the debt snowball method is really effective. With this approach, what happens here is that you will make the minimum payment on all your accounts and apply any extra cash you have toward the lowest balance, in this case, the account with the lowest unpaid amount. Once you get caught up, you will move on to the next delinquent account until all your debts are current. And that's really kind of cool, because it gives you flexibility as you move up the ladder in terms of debt priority. So this approach differs from the debt avalanche method, whereby you submit the minimum due on all your accounts and throw all extra funds at your highest interest debt. The avalanche method is best for interest savings, but actually may be a better or more realistic option once you have stabilized your credit. Similarly, a debt consolidation loan could be worth considering once you have built good credit. That way, you could qualify for a lower rate on such a loan. So that's really powerful from a budgetary point of view. Next thing you want to do is you want to lower your credit utilization. So your CUR is another key factor in calculating your credit score, and shows how much of the available credit you are using on your credit cards at any given time. So this is important. So you want to really reduce it big time. If you want to repair bad credit this year, I want you to really maintain paid off credit accounts. See, the whole thing is that a lot of folks, they talk about, well, you want to repair bad credit, take this action, send a letter to the credit bureaus, blah, blah, blah. But don't actually close any paid off credit accounts, because those paid off credit accounts are going to help you big time. Okay, so the length of your credit history is a key factor also in maintaining good credit. And one component is the average age of your open credit accounts. One way to grow your average account age over time is to keep old credit cards open, even if you're no longer using them. So it doesn't matter if you have a credit card that you opened 10 years ago, but for some reason you don't like the card or the conditions they're giving you, or you don't really like whatever they're giving you, and you're pissed, right? But still, keep them open. So closing your oldest credit cards can have a negative impact on your length of credit history and potentially cause a dip in your credit scores. So that's why you want to keep them open. So keeping those accounts open can bolster your credit history, though it may not be worth it if you struggle with, let's say, with overspending, or if it's a secured credit card that requires you to close the account to get your deposit back. So it's one of those things where you have to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Okay. And so the next thing you want to do is you want to consider credit boosting services. So I'm still talking to you about how to repair bad credit. So if you want to improve your credit scores, take advantage of services that give you credit for certain non-debt payments. Okay. So, for example, most landlords don't report rent payments to the credit bureaus. However, free rent reporting services like Self Financial can help you add those payments to all three of your credit reports to help boost your payment history. Another option is Experience Boost, which can add rent, phone, utility, insurance, and even some streaming subscription payments to your Experian credit report, free of charge, of course. Just keep in mind that this route is not a cure-all because those services may only impact certain versions of your credit scores, and credit card issuers and lenders might not use the same score versions that are impacted. So it's not like a 100% sure sort of version. If you want to repair bad credit this year, I want you to really be more responsible. I want you to borrow responsibly. And you also want to avoid unnecessary new credit, new loans, new lines of credit. Okay. So diversifying your credit mix, the different types of credit you have is another option for improving your credit. However, please avoid taking on debt unless it is necessary for reasons beyond fixing your credit. Let me give you other options. You can consider credit builder loans, co-sign loans, secure credit card, or even having an authorized user relationship. So when I speak about credit builder loans, these products typically range from $300 to $1,000 with a repayment term of 6 to 24 months. Unlike a traditional installment loan, the lender holds onto the loan funds while you make payments. And during that time, the lender reports your payment to the credit bureaus. And once you make the final payment, the good thing is you will receive actually the loan proceeds. And you also have cosign loans. So if you need a personal loan or auto or other type of loan, you have a hard time getting approved. You may have a hard time getting approved on your own. In this situation, consider asking a creditworthy family member or friend, for that matter, to help by co-signing your loan application. Just make sure they understand that they'll be responsible for paying the debt if you can't. Additionally, the loan will appear on their credit reports. And if you go down this path, research the best personal loans with co-signer support. We actually had a video come out not long ago about that topic. And you can also try a secure credit card. So like a secure loan, a secure credit card is actually backed by collateral. Okay, typically requiring an upfront deposit of $200 or more. And this is actually equal to your desired credit limit. So as you use the card responsibly, maintaining a low utilization rate and paying on the card every time, paying on time every month, the card can help you build a positive credit history. If you have a loved one who uses their credit card responsibly, consider asking them to add you as an authorized user. This could be also a great opportunity to increase your credit real fast. Once you have been added, the full history of the account will be added to your credit reports, helping to improve your credit. Just be sure their history doesn't include red flags like delinquencies or a bankruptcy. Okay, and that's important. Before you apply for a loan or credit card, think carefully about how it may impact your efforts to repair your credit. If you're trying to repair bad credit this year, I want you to really think about seeking professional help. I mean, sometimes you might think, the DIY route is the best. Yes, I can do things myself. Yes. But what if you don't have time? Or what if you have no idea what you're getting yourself into? You have no skills in that department. It's just better to actually outsource the whole process to a third-party company that actually specializes in this kind of activity. Okay, so this is a possibility. I'm just giving you options here. Don't feel like you have to go this route yourself. This journey can also be collective with a company. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to be alone. So if you are struggling to manage your debt situation and credit on your own, talk to a certified nonprofit credit counselor. You can typically find free personalized advice, okay, about various debt relief options. And additionally, a credit counselor may suggest a debt management plan, a DMP, which involves consolidating your credit card payments. The agency can also negotiate lower interest rates and payments with your creditors and potentially even bring your delinquent account back into current status. So that's something to really think about here. And so there are upfront and ongoing fees associated with DMPs, and it can also take 3 to 5 years to complete one. Additionally, you may be required to close your credit cards depending upon the DMP agreement. But yeah, you might have to close your credit cards, which can cause your utilization rate to spike. However, if you stick to the plan, there is no long-term damage to your credit scores. And if your debt situation is bad enough, you may also need to consider debt settlement or even bankruptcy. I mean, bankruptcy will be very extreme, but hey, listen, again, think about your options here, okay? So while these more drastic measures can further damage your credit scores, it may be a necessary step in a much longer term plan to repair bad credit. Again, bankruptcies stay on your credit reports for 7 or 10 years, depending on the type of proceeding, okay? Whether you have like Chapter 7 or a Chapter 10. So this is important. And by the way, you want to check out the U.S. Departments of the DOJ list of approved credit counseling agencies, the American Association for Debt Resolutions Accredited Providers, and the National Association of Consumer Bankruptcy Attorneys Directory. So that way you have a clear idea where you should go for help when it comes to credit counseling agencies. So I give you all the steps you need to follow to actually repair bad credit. And I want to give you a few extras before I close to this conversation. One thing I want to say here is that whether you should go for a credit repair company or not depends on your resources too, because they cost you money, okay? If you have poor credit, you might be tempted to hire a credit repair company for a supposed quick fix. Unfortunately, this industry is rife with scams, according to the FTC. I mean, the FTC has a long list of scammers who are taking advantage of Americans who have credit problems. Okay, so be wary of credit repair or credit restoration outfits, especially ones that charge a monthly fee. Okay, so while those companies claim they have ways of fixing bad credit, they often do what you can do for yourself for free: file disputes. That's what they do. Okay, instead of paying a credit repair company, you might want to really use those funds to pay down your own debt. Often when people need to improve their scores, there is a reason, like they want to buy a house or need a new car. So a big mistake really is thinking that they can afford or game the system or find a workaround to improve their credit quickly. There is no quick fix, okay? It is a process. So unfortunately, moving the needle on credit scores takes time, persistence, habit, changes, and most of all, patience. Okay, and so if you determine that you would prefer to hire outside help for a task, you can basically go back to those platforms, those websites I gave you a little earlier. Okay, and remember that not all companies will act in your best interest, so you want to prioritize those that do not charge setup fees and offer a money back guarantee. You want to be very clear on that front. Okay. So how long does it really take to improve bad credit? Well, it takes a minimum of 30 to 45 days to see any improvement in your credit scores. If you make a big change, such as having a serious error removed from your credit reports, you could quickly see a significant improvement. But in some cases, it could take anywhere from a few months to a couple of years to see substantial changes in your scores after taking steps to actually improve your credit. Okay. And but if for any reason you need a credit card or a line of credit or loan, just keep in mind that there are credit cards, there are loans, there are lines of credit, all unsecured, that cater to bad credit, by the way. So that's something to. But I mean, the APR might be high and the credit limit might be low, but you do have those products that are available for the subpar credit sort of ecosystem, if you will, the subprime ecosystem. So here's the bottom line to this conversation. I spoke to you about how to repair bad credit. I give you the top hacks, the extras, and now the bottom line. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.